could have finally be will bring the war to an end. Now, Hamas has now agreed to release all of the Israeli hostages, though with certain caveats, as the group has listed its disclaimers and is ready to discuss U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan through mediators. Donald Trump earlier had warned Hamas that it would face all the hell if it refused to cooperate, and negotiations are underway, raising hopes for a possible resolution. While President Trump had told Israel to immediately stop bombing Gaza after Hamas agreed to release the hostages and some other terms in a U.S. plan to end the war. But vexing issues like disarmament, however, appears to be unresolved. Let's connect with Srinjoy now. Srinjoy, good morning. Donald Trump's statement marking the first time since his return to power in January that he had explicitly called U.S. ally Israel, which is yet to react to halt its bombardment. But he says that he believes that Hamas is ready for lasting peace.
Trump has been president for the last 7 months or so, and he's always said he was trying to do something to end the war in Israel, between Israel and the Hamas, and the Hezbollah and the Houthis and so on. Now, this peace plan is largely acceptable to the Hamas, but there are two major problems. One is the foreign rule in Hamas. Tony Blair, former British Prime Minister, was supposed to play a major role. But this is what Hamas is not accepting. They are saying that we cannot accept foreigners ruling over Gaza. That's really the first point. The second is it will be difficult to ensure that all the weapons that the Hamas has is actually returned. How will you do that is the big question. Not that the Hamas is very agreeable about it, but at the end of the day, this is going to be a difficult issue to enforce.
Well, that would be because, Prime Minister Netanyahu's office saying that Israel was preparing for immediate implementation of the first stage of Trump's Gaza plan for the release of all Israeli hostages following Hamas's response. But as far as Hamas is saying that the Trump's 20-point plan after U.S. President gave Hamas an ultimatum that accept the plan, the deal, or face grave consequences. It's going to be hell for Hamas, and we are looking at 7th of October. Srinjoy, that's going to be coming very soon. However, Hamas hasn't made any mention of any intention of disarmament, because that is also a key to the, President Trump's plan, a move that the group has been previously resisting.
Disarmament is going to be a difficult issue. First of all, the Hamas is opposed to it. Secondly, how can you actually enforce it is also a question. They can say we have 100 AK-47s and we are returning them to you when they actually have 500. So that's something that will also have to be kept in mind. But if there is peace in the area, it will be a huge boost, not just for the people of Gaza, and the people of Israel,
yes,
but also for everybody in West Asia and everybody around the world. Let's not forget 60,000 people have died in the fighting already, and the numbers could be even more.
Yes.
So 60,000 deaths, including lots of women, lots of children, is not something very edifying.
Well, it has isolated Israel on the global front. We saw those pictures, what happened at the UNGA with Prime Minister Netanyahu. But President Trump, who has cast himself as the only person capable of achieving peace in Gaza, he's invested significant political capital in efforts to end this 2-year-old war that has killed tens of thousands of people and has left the U.S. ally Israel increasingly isolated on the world stage. Now, Donald Trump has praised all of the countries that supported his Gaza peace plan, including India. And as Hamas prepares to release all of the hostages, let's take a closer look at the statements that are coming in from the world leaders.
I want to thank the countries that helped me put this together: Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, you know the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents, because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East, and we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
So that is the reaction coming in from President Donald Trump. There have been world leaders as well who have been expressing optimism as Hamas agrees to the US-backed peace deal aimed at releasing hostages and ceasing hostilities in Gaza. And this unprecedented move is being hailed as a significant step towards lasting peace in the region that has been long plagued with conflict. World leaders who are hailing this breakthrough, calling it as a crucial step forward. And the reactions that have been coming in, that is important, because Donald Trump, according to a statement that he made, he's taking the credit, casting himself to be the only person capable of achieving lasting peace in Gaza. And he seems to have invested significant political capital in the efforts of ending the two-year war, and has now killed tens of thousands of people. And Israel, meanwhile, India, in fact, has also welcomed when it comes to the US's peace plan there. And now this is coming across as a big development, where world leaders are also hailing this achievement, this breakthrough that has now come across as a crucial time, as the 7th of October. Remember, it was that very day in Israel when Hamas had launched this deadly attack. But on part of Hamas's side, they've made no mention of its intentions on disarmament, which is a key part of the US president's plan and a move that the group had previously been resisting. So world leaders reacting as far as the statement that has come in from President Trump. We are looking at J.D. Vance, the vice president, saying that proud of the president and the entire team, pray for peace. That is the development. And J.D. Vance and another leaders there, significantly that we're looking at a step where multiple countries have also recognized the state of Palestine. The UN chief there, Antonio Guterres, also saying that he welcomes and he is encouraged by the statement issued by Hamas announcing its readiness to release the hostages and to engage on the basis of the recent proposal by the President of the United States, where I urge all the parties to seize this opportunity to bring the tragic conflict in Gaza to an end. I also thank Qatar and Egypt for their invaluable mediation work, and I reiterate my consistent call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages and unfettered humanitarian access, and the UN will support all of the peace efforts in these objectives to prevent even more suffering. So world leaders there calling it as a significant step. Hamas's acceptance of a US-backed peace plan, that was a significant step towards ending the war in Gaza, for ending the war once and for all. That is what we are looking at as far as when it comes to this development is concerned. Let's in the meantime move on now. Well, when we talk about wars, because it is not just about the